How's it going, guys, and welcome to TheBlueShifting, and welcome to a brand new show. I got an idea I've had for a while, and I'm really excited to get this started. This is a genesis of something interesting, but I want to kind of go over briefly what this is all about. You've seen the title. Hopefully that was something that caught your eye. If this is your first time to the channel or whatever, welcome. I like doing story-based content. This is one of my most favorite games of all time. It's Knights of the Old Republic. It's probably one of the first RPGs I've ever played. It really got me started into just how what video games could become as far as like being able to have a narrative and share stories. And this is one of the best. I mean, it's BioWare, Obsidian, like respectively making the first and second games, some of the best writing companies that had ever been. BioWare might have gotten a little off the deep end lately, but this was their haymaker. This is like the beginning of the golden age for them. It's like, I'm really excited to play this, but it's a game I know like the back of my hand. This game, and the second one especially, like I know these games so well, I was like, well, that wouldn't make a great content unless we do something a little special. So, we're gonna start the first challenge run I think I've ever seen for this game. I think other people have done something like this, but we're gonna be doing something where I'm gonna be focusing on just trying to maximize my knowledge of the game and do something a little unique. I'm calling it the Uncivilized Run. We're gonna be doing KOTOR 1 without using any force powers.
So uncivilized.
Now, we are shoehorned as a class into getting Jedi powers and Jedi classes, so you might be saying to yourself, Blue, what are you talking about? How is this going to be possible? Well, I'm just going to abstain. I've got a bit of an idea of a build I'm going to go for in the early levels. I'm going to try and boost up as much as I can on the first planet. And we're going to run through the rest of the game, and whilst I will be taking Jedi levels, all I'm going to be using are the skills and feats and like weapons that I find and buy that are mechanical. I'll not touch lightsabers. I will not be using any force powers. Now, I could possibly have companions that'll use force powers, but I think we're even going to try and abstain from then. We're going to see. We're going to see. I'm not entirely sure. It's not like I've done a run of this before and know exactly how this is all going to play out, but we're going to keep it fresh, we're going to keep it fun, and we're going to be building a character. Instead of just playing the game like I would blind, which is just kind of just making decisions that I feel are most appropriate for the situation, I'm going to be skewing a bit more towards the role-playing of an RPG game. So I'm going to try and stick to kind of a general theme. So what's the theme? Well, the theme is someone who simply doesn't really have any time for mumbo-jumbo Jedi nonsense. Somebody who's realistic and sees the world not as black and white like the Jedi do, but in fields of gray. Somebody who's not ashamed to make a little buck on the side if it doesn't completely ruin everyone else's day. Yeah, maybe take advantage of the situation perhaps, but not outright destroying everybody. I'm not entirely making this character evil. I just think this character is going to be a realist, and a realist understands that sometimes you got to stick it out for yourself, and other people, sometimes it just sucks to be them, bad luck, they can turn things around. So we're going to be building a character, and we are going to be starting with a Scoundrel. I'm going to stick with a male character this time. So we're going to be doing a male Scoundrel character. Now, why would I pick Scoundrel? For two major reasons. Number one, I think it fits really well for the background of the character that we're kind of going for, and when we get to the build of the character, Scoundrels start to get access to some very important feats that I think will be really useful. But we'll get to that later. We're going to be making a custom character, of course, because I need to make sure that I get to make a build that I can really enjoy and kind of understand. Now, I'm going to go with my favorite of the faces. They're all so just beautiful. I'm going to go with this one, though, just because I think the scar over the eye is a bit, personable. I'm not so sure about the facial, the little, soul patch he's got going, but you know what? People make odd choices. All right, now attributes. This, of course, dictates stats. If you ever played D&D, which is thankfully becoming a lot more common, you'll recognize this system right away. And the thing is that in the background, it's essentially running a D20 D&D style system. Every attack roll is based on a random generation of a number between 1 and 20, adding your stats to it, versus an armor class, which is dictated by a base stat 10 plus whatever armor or bonuses that a character has. It's very similar to D&D. So we need to build a system that we're going to be anticipating a specific type of build. And because I know I'm not going to be using lightsabers, or force powers, I need to focus on two things. I either need to pick to be a melee focus or a ranged focus. Melee focuses can be pretty good, but the thing is, the best person to do melee is already going to be in the game. It's Zalbar. He's such a good tank. It's almost silly to try and do otherwise. And whilst it can be fine, range tends to be fairly superior, and I think I want to go for that type of build. I'm going to steal the thunder from Karth. I think I'm going to go dual blasters. So we want to crank up dexterity pretty much to the max. I might not keep it at 18, because we need some other stuff too. Probably a touch of charisma, because it's not super important, because a lot of it focuses on force powers, but there is the persuasion skill I want to have at least a little bit of buff into, so I at least wanted a 10, maybe a 12. Wisdom probably can dump. Intelligence, I'd like a couple more skill points, but I don't need that to be a whole lot. Strength, really, if I don't plan on doing any close combat, like, there's no reason for me to do strength at all. It's like I said, adds for melee damage and chance to hit, where dexterity is ranged attack rolls and makes it harder to hit me. So the other thing about strength is that, like, it lets you put on heavier armor, but I don't want to wear heavy armor because that'll deny me my dexterity bonuses. So frankly, I'll probably just dump strength completely. And then we want good constitution because we need to be able to heal, and we want to have a good amount of health. All right, so wisdom, I think this is looking like a pretty good stat spread. It's not super min-maxy, but we get to keep our 18 dexterity, get a 14 constitution. I could possibly bump that up if I decided to dump. Like, the thing about wisdom is like resisting force powers. Like, if I don't have a strong wisdom, I'm gonna really be susceptible to like the lot of force users we fight. But at the same turn, I just don't need it that much. That's challenging. If I do that, and I can only get one more buff. Okay, yeah, we'll go to 10, and I'll just probably focus on buffing dexterity and constitution as I level up. Now, skills. This is going to be important, and again, this is why it's really good for us to be being a scoundrel. Scoundrels get a lot of skill points, and they have access to some of the more important skills. Security is going to be pretty solid. Persuade, we want that up because that's going to be our golden ticket to solving pretty much all of our problems. Stealth is pretty good. Treat injury, honestly, we want that. It costs a lot, but the thing is, like, we're going to be relying a lot on stim packs because I can't use force powers. So even though treat injury isn't a class skill, I need to get that as high as possible. Demolitions, I mean, that's niche. I'll have characters that can usually do that for me. Computer use, computer use, security, or repair, maybe a combo of them, but you don't need all of them. And since security is the one that's my class skill, I'm probably going to stick with going with awareness, because awareness is good about seeing things and at least being able to see minds, being able to see stealth characters. Fairly important. That's good. I know this is boring, but we're talking about character build here, so you can skip this if you need to. All right, so we start with proficiency with light, critical strikes, scoundrel's luck, and sneak attack. That's what I really wanted here. Sneak attack is fantastic because if we go to it, like here, we'll go read it, because this is something I never used much in the game whenever I played a Jedi. But when we get to sneak attack, where is it? Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, adds 1d6 points extra damage to attacks when they can't respond to the attacker. It's applied to attack made behind the target, targets that are stunned, or or immobilized, or any attacks made while in stealth mode. Now, stealth mode, hit or miss. We probably won't end up using it. It's just too time-consuming, and with a party, it's just really inconsistent. Because the downside is, with stealth, you have to go solo, or else it will just decloak you as soon as they see your allies. And when that, but if you do stealth and you go out and you start attacking, your allies have to catch up to you, and your glass cannon if you're doing a stealth build. And so, whilst it works really well on a tabletop, it doesn't work well here. But being able to get behind them or stun them, that is fantastic. If we can find a way to reliably stun people, we can start stacking some incredible bonus damages. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna lean into that. Now, because I'm gonna be going for a 2-weapon build, I'm gonna go ahead and have to start with just in 2-weapon fighting. But going down here, it's interesting because we have a bit of a branch off here. Rapid shot adds essentially additional attack to your attack, but when you've got 2 blasters, it adds like another 2 attacks, so you can just send out some amazing damage. And later in levels, like early levels, it's really hard because you end up just missing a lot because of the negative penalty when you're using it. But when you get to higher levels, you can pretty much hit every time, so Master Rapid Shot becomes insane. So we're definitely going to end up getting that eventually. The other thing that's interesting is getting Sniper Shot. Whilst it is limited to your intelligence modifier, which is the downside, it can stun if it hits on the highest level. And remember, I just said we get sneak attacks if we stun. So being able to do a sniper shot, stun them, and then rapid shot, and each of those rapid shots getting sneak attack damage stacks, that's what can really send us into the stratosphere. So we're going to be looking to go down this route eventually. But for now, because I want to be able to have the, like, I don't want to be super penalized by having 2 blasters, I'm going to go ahead and add the 2-weapon fighting right now, and we're going to try and stack that as quickly as we can, because the most debilitating part of our build is going to be trying to dual wield. It's going to be really powerful, but in the early game, it's really rough. All right. Now, we're gonna give ourselves a name. Now, normally I play as when I play the cloak protagonist that's me, I name the character Protagonist. It's just the fun joke that we've had running for a while, but this time we're playing a character, Killy the Bid. Yes, the long-lost descendant of Billy the Kid, of Billy the Kid will be Killy the Bid. Sounds like we're some kind of kingpin or something. I don't know, it's stupid. I'm channeling my inner, like, Rihanna Keeves from Spiffing Brit. All right, so here's our dude. He has no will save at all. Reflex is great, though, and that's good for early game. So we're going to be dodging explosives left and right. We're going to be doing stuff. We have, like, no health. Like, that's the thing. Like, we have 8 health. That's with a decent constitution, so we're going to be a glass cannon. But I'm excited. So let's get this game started and see how we go for the first and the opening segment of the Uncivilized Run. A long time ago in the galaxy far, far away. Brrr, ding. Knights of the Old Republic. 4,000 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire, the Republic verges on collapse. Darth Malak, last surviving apprentice of the Dark Lord Revan, has unleashed an invincible Sith armada upon an unsuspecting galaxy. Oh, chills, I love it. Crushing all resistance, Malak's war of conquest has left the Jedi Order scattered and vulnerable, as countless knights fall in battle and many more swear allegiance to the new Sith Master. In the skies above the Outer Rim world of Taris, a Jedi battle fleet engages the forces of Darth Malak in a desperate effort to halt the Sith's galactic domination. It's so cheesy, but it sets the stage so well for a good Star Wars story. Although they are going to step away from this in newer Star Wars media, which is fair. Here we go.
We've been ambushed by a Sith battle fleet. The Endar Spire is under attack. Hurry up, we don't have much time.
And thus we begin. Here we go in the old-fashioned dialogue trees. Oh, I love it. So, we're going to be jumping through a bit of this dialogue. And remember, we're role-playing Killy the Bid. So we're going to go ahead and play this. So, like, who are you?
I'm Trask Ulgo, ensign with the Republic fleet. I'm your bunkmate here on the Endar Spire. We work opposite shifts. I guess that's why you haven't seen me before. Now hurry up. We have to find Bastila. We have to make sure she makes it off the ship alive.
Who's Bastila?
Bastila is the commanding officer on the Endar Spire. Well, not an officer, really. But she's the one in charge of this mission. One of our primary duties is to guarantee her survival in the event of an enemy attack. You swore an oath just like everyone else on this mission. Now it's time to make good on that oath. I know all about your reputation. How you used to smuggle spice and blasters along the Corellian run. I guess the Republic figured since they couldn't catch you, they might as well hire you. And I'll admit, the Republic is in desperate need of someone with your kind of skills. Desperate enough to overlook your shady past. But now that you've signed on for this mission, you're part of the Republic fleet. And Bastila needs all troops at her side during this attack.
Oath or no oath, I'm heading to the escape pods.
Don't be stupid. You won't stand a chance against the Sith by yourself. We gotta stick together if you want to make it out of this alive. So hurry up and grab your gear. You need to suit up so we can get out of here.
Okay. Alright, and here we are finally in the game. I turned down the music a little bit because I think in that cutscene it was just pretty much like blasting and like the dialogue was probably going to be difficult to hear, so that should help now. But the music is really good, so I don't want to overcome it. So here we are, we're in the basic tutorial, so I'm going to run through the basics real quick and then I'll jump us kind of into the situation of anything that I learned here.
You can move the mouse to the edges of the screen.
Oh, right, I get it, okay, I get it. Stop, I'm just talking to people, jeez. Alright, we'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Look at us now. Now, again, so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to pick the smuggler, because remember that he makes that reference. He talks about how, like, oh yeah, you used to smuggle like spice, which is aka drugs, and weapons like across the border. So we got hired as like a special mercenary.
Let's move out. We should stick together. You'll have more success with a party than on your own.
Okay, let me talk for a second. Okay, so we were tasked to smuggle stuff around. They finally hired us after we did all of our shenanigans. So like, yeah, like we're a skilled smuggler. It makes sense that we're not 100% loyal to the Republic. Like, sure, maybe we picked this up as like a steady gig, but like ships going down, we're not throwing ourselves to the enemy. We're gonna be trying to get out of here. Yeah, sure, we might try and live up to our contract per se, but it's not like we're going to be doing a self-sacrifice. That sounds stupid. All right, so well, let's jump in and try and survive. All right, so here we go, party screen. Yeah. I know this game real well, so I don't need that. Okay. How do I see? This is all tutorial stuff. I know how to do this, so pretty easy. Go open the door.
Now that the door is open, you better take the lead again.
All right. Now, I should be able to play without too much interference. Stop. Okay.
This is Carthel Nassi. The Sith are threatening to overrun our position. We can't hold out long against their firepower. All hands to the bridge!
That was Karth contacting us on our portable communicators. He's one of the Republic's best pilots. He's seen more combat than the rest of the Endar Spire's crew put together. If he says things are bad, you better believe it. We have to get to the bridge to help defend Bastila. There's a map of the Endar Spire and a copy of Karth's message in your electronic journal, just in case we get separated.
All right, let's move out. Oh, Karth. I don't know about that guy. He already seems annoying, but we'll see. Maybe he won't be so bad.
No problem. Got it.
Welcome to combat, where everyone's a stormtrooper.
These Sith must be the advanced boarding party for the Republic!
So one thing about the way that this combat's going to work, so like you click your target, you choose your attack, you can make a little bit of a queue of like what actions you take, like mostly attacks, but then you can also include like taking a stim to give yourself health, all that stuff. But one thing that's interesting is that it's going to look like stormtrooper firing, where you're going to see us go like blam, blam, blam. But the thing is, like, those 3 shots aren't actually attacks. It's all one attack. It's just to make it stylized and to kind of make the staggering simulation of each turn of each character taking roughly like a second or 2. So like you fire 3 shots, but it's only one of them that actually really matters. You'll see numbers go up above someone's head. If you land a hit, a red number appears. If you land a hit but do no damage, it's a 0, I think. And maybe that's even just a miss. Or it'll say miss. I can't remember the details exactly. But yeah, so we got sniper shot or a regular attack. I'm gonna try and sniper shot and see what we do. So yeah, so there's the sniper shot. And then I can also, I'll get better at this as like, I get better. And then once you queued up, you hit spacebar and you unload. See, there's a hit. There we go, see? Boom. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at those blaster skills. I have to say also, the smuggler has the best uniform, by far. Not the droid! You curse you, Sith! Alright, so then you want to pause and kind of queue up your attacks. I know, I've done this before, game. Oh, actually I missed. See, early game was like, it almost is a disservice to not just do standard attacks, because everyone's super weak. Eventually, the meadows will go pretty crazy once you start leveling up. So we're gonna have to be careful about our build then. But yeah, let's just go and loot everything, because we're a hero. God, bad luck roll. We got 2 melee weapons. But we did get some better armor. So we got normal clothing that literally does nothing. Now we can do the combat suit, but you have to check here. See, max dexterity bonus +5. So we want this because it gives us +4 armor, and then our dexterity gives us +4. So as long as the max dexterity bonus is higher than +4 or higher, then it's a good piece of armor for us to wear. Otherwise, we have to make sure we aren't like undercompensating ourselves. But yeah, so now we're much harder to hit now. So we're actually very unlikely to get shot by these level 1s for a little while. Now that was a very eloquent system to introduce explosives, melee weapons, and like friendly fire. The idea that like you throw a grenade, you're gonna hurt your allies as well as your enemies, but they're also very effective. Grenades are super, super strong in this game. It wants us to use it here, so I'm gonna go ahead. Fetch, man, look at that. Now eventually we're gonna fight stuff that has high enough like health pools that a grenade won't do it all, but you also get really broken, powerful grenades that like, I guarantee you when we fight the final boss of the game, you're gonna actually see grenades being a pretty big part of that fight. But I'm not gonna spoil everything for that, because I have some very cheesy things I'm gonna do for that fight. And remember, we're gonna be fighting full-blown Sith and Jedi, like, and we're not gonna be using force powers. We gotta use our brains. So it's gonna be really interesting, because remember, we're uncivilized.
It's a dark Jedi! This fight is too much for us! We better stay back! All we do is get in the way!
I agree with you for once.
That was one of the Jedi accompanying Bastila. Damn, they could have used her help.
Yeah, I have a feeling Jedi aren't going to be very impactful on this run. Now, loot the bodies. See, another thing, it makes sense for my character to just loot everything you can get his grubby little hands on.
The bridge is just beyond that door. You better equip your melee weapon. There isn't much room on the bridge, and it's suicide to use a blaster in close quarters. I should equip a melee weapon, too. Either that or I'll have to stay back and use my blaster.
Okay. What if they have lightsabers? Yeah, that's actually a good question. It's good to cover here.
Your melee weapon is made using a Cortosis weed. It's strong enough to stand up against anything, even a lightsaber.
Now, that caused a little like confusion back in like the olden days, I remember. But it's kind of silly, honestly. But doesn't really matter. All right, you
Sure.
are gonna go charge full ahead. I'm gonna stay behind with the blaster.
We'll be fighting in close.
No, okay. Be nice if the guy with the sword ran up and helped.
Bastila's not here on the bridge. They must have retreated to the escape pods. We better head that way too. The Sith want Bastila alive, but once she's off the ship, there's nothing stopping them from blasting the Endar Spire into galactic dust.
For wanting somebody alive, we're literally spiraling towards a planet. Like, they have not really been discriminatory fire. Ah, yes. All right, we're ready. We got a second blaster finally. We also leveled up, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. All right, for skills, we want to get Persuade up for sure. Probably Security, Stealth, and Awareness. And then next level, we'll start taking up Treat Injury, which means we'll only be able to have 2 points to spread up here, so it'll be pretty good there. Then we can't get this until level 4. Toughness could be good. Blaster Proficiency might be really good, because like, +1 with blasters doesn't sound like much, but especially early level, that's a huge difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and get proficiency with blasters. There, so now if we look at our stats, it's 0 and +2. If I took this off, it's +6. But now, because of the negatives for dual wielding, it's 0 +2. But that should still do pretty good, because we get double the attacks, so I'm gonna go for it.
something behind here. Damn, another Dark Jedi! I'll try to hold him off. You get to the escape pods. Go!
What an idiot. I mean, like, he just essentially committed suicide right there, right? Like, he just charged a Dark Jedi. I mean, cool, heroic and all that stuff, but he literally just committed suicide. All right.
This is Cartho Nassi on your personal communicator. I'm tracking your position through the Endar Spire's life support systems. Bastila's escape pod is away. You're the last surviving crew member on the Endar Spire. Now, I can't wait for you much longer. You have to get to the escape pods. But be careful. There's a Sith patrol just down the corridor. Use your stealth skill to sneak past him.
All right. Now, this is one of those very interesting things where we get to access our stealth skill. Okay, where? Oh yeah, like the button's over here.
I'll avoid what I can.
Now we can be all swoopy. Now, what it's doing is it's going to be doing constant rolls where they're going to like to see if they spot me or not, just based on various factors. But see, like it's providing like a little bit of a distraction so that I can sneak past. Now, I could try and just kill them to get the experience, but they have very minimal experience that they add. It's just the one, actually. If there's just one, then what I should do is I should try and get a stealth attack on him. Look at all that. Can't touch this, boy! Ha-ha! I win, sucker! So, when I'm in solo mode, like when I'm playing... Okay, drop your guard. There we go. When I'm playing by myself, the stealth mode is very useful. Here's something interesting. God, you can't see anything. You can't touch this. Now, the nice thing is I could... Let's open this footlocker. Now, I don't think I've got very good... repair skills. I probably can't repair this droid. So the way repair works is the amount of parts it takes to do something is lowered by how your skill. So like technically I can repair it, but it's gonna take a ton of the parts that I've got. Not super great. Oh, fetch! Oh, that's not great either. I didn't realize just touching the droid was gonna get me out of stealth. That's not useful. That's okay.
Be careful. There's a whole squad of Sith troopers on the other side of that door. You need to find some way to thin their numbers. You could reprogram the damaged assault droid to help you, if you have enough repair parts. Or you could use computer spikes to slice into the terminal and use the Endar Spire's security systems against the Sith.
Yep, so that's the choice we get to make. Now I get to look through here and you get to view this room. Yeah, look at that. There's 5 of them, including a strong dude. So 5 spikes, I can overload it. Or I can kill the droid, or I can try and stealth. So I'm gonna try something here. All right, I wanna try this.
No problem. Didn't work. No problem.
What?
Didn't work. No problem. Didn't work.
Okay. So it's gonna force me. All right, fine then. Very expensive, because I use, like, computer spikes are super useful in the later game, but if it's gonna force me, it's gonna force me.
You've made it just in time. There's only one active escape pod left. Come on, we can hide out on the planet below.
How do I know I can trust you?
I'm a soldier with the Republic, like you. We're the last 2 crew members left on the Endar Spire. Bastila's escape pod's already gone, so there's no reason for us to stick around here and get shot by the Sith. Now, come on. There'll be time for questions later.
All right, off we go. Last escape pod, and your only hope of survival. Just step away. I don't want to live. Oof. Well, that was funky. Oh, crap. Another bed again.
Good to see you up instead of thrashing about in your sleep. You must have been having one hell of a nightmare. I was wondering if you were ever going to wake up. I'm Karth, one of the Republic soldiers from the Endar Spire. I was with you in the escape pod. Do you remember?
Right. I'm Killy the Bid, by the way. How did we get here?
We've been slipping in and out of consciousness for a couple of days now, so I imagine you're pretty confused about things. Try not to worry. We're safe. At least for the moment. We're in an abandoned apartment on the planet of Taris. We were banged up pretty bad when our escape pod crashed, but luckily I wasn't seriously hurt. I was able to drag you away from our crash site and all the confusion, and I stumbled into this abandoned apartment. By the time the Sith arrived on the scene, we were long gone.
Let's see. I guess I owe you my life. Thanks. That's the thing. We might be a scoundrel, we might be a bit of a scumbag, but we know when people have done us favors. I guess I owe you my life. Thanks.
You don't have to thank me. I've never abandoned anyone on a mission, and I'm not about to start now. Besides, I'm gonna need your help. Taris is under Sith control. Their fleet is orbiting the planet, they've declared martial law, and they've imposed a planet-wide quarantine. But I've been in war spots. I saw
It's
on your
2020
service
all over
records that
again.
You understand a remarkable number of alien languages. That's pretty rare in a raw recruit. But it should come in handy while we're stranded on a foreign world. There is no way the Republic will be able to get anyone through the Sith blockade to help us. If we're gonna find Bastila and get off this planet, we can't rely on anybody but ourselves.
Why is it so important to find Bastila?
That smack to your head did more damage than I thought. Bastila's a Jedi. She was with the strike team that killed Darth Revan, Malak's Sith master. Bastila's the key to the whole Republic war effort. The Sith must have found out that she was on the Endar Spire and set an ambush for us in this system. I believe Bastila was on one of the escape pods that crashed down here in Taris. For the sake of the Republic war effort, we have to try and find her.
I mean, come on, like, she's one of those Jedis, like, they're just parlor tricks. They just run around with, like, a really, really long, extended, micro, like, welding tool, and they use it in very flashy religion. I mean, come on. Like, she can't be all that important. How can one person, even a Jedi, be so important? Or if Bastila's a Jedi, she could probably look after herself. How do you even know Bastila's still alive?
I don't, but Bastila's young, and she has a powerful command of the Force. We survived the crash landing, so I'm willing to bet that she may have too. Besides, what's the alternative? I mean, if she's dead, then no one can stop Malak and his Sith from wiping out the Republic, and I'd rather operate on the assumption that she survived.
How could one okay, so... Okay, how can one person, even a Jedi, be so important?
Bastila is no ordinary Jedi. She has a rare gift the Jedi call battle meditation. Bastila's power can influence entire armies. Through the Force, Bastila can inspire her allies with confidence and make her enemies lose their will to fight. Often that's all it takes to tip the balance in a battle. Of course, there are limits to what she can do, but from what I understand of her ability, it requires great concentration and focus to maintain her battle meditation. The attack on the Endar Spire happened so fast, she never had a chance to use her battle meditation. Like us, she barely got out alive.
I'd also argue that, like, while morale is very critical to a battle, like, even if they had, like, crippling doubt, they had the numbers on their hands. Like, even if she were in full game gear, I don't think battle meditation would have been able to actually turn a battle of that magnitude different, I mean, we were horrifically outclassed. And so, like, it really makes a lot of sense that, like, it wouldn't have worked there. She's more on a macro scale, not a micro scale. Best still alive, Best still a Jedi, she can probably look after herself. Well, here's the thing, like, I kind of want to say, like, forget it, I'm not risking my life to try and save her, but, like, again, it's one of those things where, like, we stick our nose out for ourselves, but do we really think that we have much more, like, are much more likely to survive with just the two of us? Probably not. We probably could use all the help we can get. We should be looking for any Republic people to try and, like, rally around and try and get something going here. So what do you suggest we do next?
Bastila's gonna need our help. Many of Darth Malak's followers can use the dark side of the Force, and the Sith have already killed more than their share of Jedi in this war. Nobody will be looking for a couple of common soldiers like us, and if we're careful, we can move about the planet without attracting notice, a luxury Bastila won't have. She's gonna have half the Sith fleet looking for her. They know how important she is to the war effort. The whole planet is under quarantine. No ships can land or take off. So if Bastila's gonna escape Taris, she's gonna need our help. And we'll probably need hers.
Okay. What's in this for me if I help you out? What a scumbag thing to ask, but...
I mean, besides a chance to get off this planet before the Sith find you, do you have any idea what the Sith do to prisoners of war?
No, I mean, I don't. I'm not a military person. If it means getting off this planet, I guess I can help you find Bastila.
Good. We're gonna need to work together if we're gonna survive. While you were out, I did some scouting around. There are reports of a couple of escape pods crashing down into the Undercity. It's probably a good place to start. But the Undercity's a dangerous place. We don't want to go there unprepared, and it won't do Bastila any good if we go and get ourselves killed.
Let's see, I want to ask you some
I'll
questions.
tell you whatever I can, though I don't know how much help it'll be.
What do you know about Malak and the Sith?
Everything I know about Malak is pretty much common knowledge. He escaped the trap that killed Darth Revan, his Sith master. With Revan's death, Malak became the new Dark Lord. It's obvious that Malak's a ruthless tyrant who'll crush anyone who stands in his way, just like Revan was. Experience has shown that the Sith won't stop until the Republic lies in ruins. Malak and his Sith don't respect anything except raw, brutal power. It's hard to imagine how someone who used to be a Jedi could become such a monster.
A Jedi? What do you mean?
Malak and Revan were once both part of the Jedi Order, but they were young and headstrong, and against the wishes of the Council, they went to battle the Mandalorians on the Outer Rim. Something happened out there. Something corrupted them and drew them over to the dark side. Or maybe there was something rotten inside them all along. I don't know. They formed an army of ex-Republic soldiers and Jedi who'd fallen to the dark side, with Revan at their head, until Revan was killed by Bastila's Jedi strike team. But even that didn't slow the Sith down. Malak just stepped in and assumed Revan's role. He took control of the Sith Armada and resumed the bloody conquest of the Outer Worlds.
So yeah, it's really interesting to think about this idea that so we're fighting the Sith, but they're not this nebulous thing that the Sith have been in core Star Wars. We're talking about people who were trained in Jedi arts, who learned all the machinations, who then went to war, and somewhere along the way got a taste for it that they couldn't satiate alone, and then they just turned around, took all the people who had become their loyal followers through many campaigns of actual bloody combat, and then said, you know what? Republic shouldn't be here, we should be in charge. It's essentially what happened in Rome with Julius Caesar, when he went out campaigning, was very successful, got the loyalty of the army, and then just marched back into Rome and kind of just said, nah, we're not doing this anymore, I'm in charge now. It's essentially what Malak and Revan attempted to do, and yet it's a lot harsher just because it's got the cloak of the dark side over it. If you take away the black and white of dark side, light side, and just look at it, what you're looking at is a political coup of the military trying to take over the democratic system that they think is failing or is just unsuccessful, upholding and uplifting what they believe are more important, their values. And it becomes a lot more muddled a mixture. And I think that this game, whilst it's not super apparent, because if you just are looking for a surface level Star Wars experience, that's what you're going to get. But if you actually look at it, they do a great job in the writing here talking about how gray everything really is in a galaxy like this, despite the attempts of Star Wars to seemingly be black and white, good and bad, righteous and evil. It's really not that simple. So that's what we can really explore, and I think that's kind of what's going to be fun, because I'm going to be trying to play a character that'll try and draw that out a bit more. Let's see. Sounds like get the Sith of the right idea. See, no, that's not what I'm saying. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything else I can talk to him about. I'd like to know more about you, Karth.
I understand why you want to know more about me. I kind of get the feeling we'll be spending a lot of time together over the next while. But this isn't really the best time for long introductions. We should stay focused on the task at hand. There'll be a time for that later.
Alright, well, the sooner we start looking for Bastila, the sooner we can find her.
Good idea. We can use this abandoned apartment as a base. We can probably get some equipment and supplies here in the upper city. Just remember to keep a low profile. I've heard some grim stories about the Dark Jedi interrogation techniques. They say the Force can do terrible things to a mind. Can wipe away your memories and destroy your very identity. But I figure if we don't do anything stupid, we should be okay. I mean, after all, they're looking for Bastila, not a couple of grunts like us. All right, soldier, let's move out.
All right. And that is where we're going to end for today, because that's pretty much the introduction. Through the Endar Spire crisis, we've landed on Taris, and now we're ready to start our true investigation. We're going to walk out that door, and we're going to immediately doing our best. We're going to be stealthy, keep a little profile, try not to get noticed at all. It's going to go great, I'll tell you. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This, again, is the Uncivilized Run. We're going to be going through this entire campaign, and again, I'm going to reiterate, I'll probably say this at the beginning of each episode, but I want to reiterate it very strictly. If you stayed this long and you're curious to see where this is going to go, remember, I'm going to be building a character, and despite the fact that I will be forced to take Jedi levels in the future, I'm not going to use a lightsaber, I'm not going to use force powers, I'm probably not even going to like equip force powers to my character. I'm gonna get a little blue force bar. It's never gonna go down. It's never gonna get used. The whole point is I'm gonna be attempting to do a build forceless through the entirety of this game. I've never done anything like this before. Though I understand the system well enough, I think it's very possible. So we're gonna be doing this attempt, and we're gonna try and go through the game as best we can with this, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys will stick around for it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm liking this idea. This is a new direction for the channel. I've always dived into a lot of story-driven games, and most of the time I play through them blind. So you're getting my first reaction to things, you're getting my first response, you're getting raw like decision making on branching paths of stories, and then like the end we kind of go over it. This is the first time I'm going to be going over a game that I know really well, or at least truly going through it. I made an attempt to go through this game a long time ago, but my hardware setup wasn't very good. I didn't really know what I was doing, and it kind of flopped. It's buried way down in the videos back there, but I also thought to myself when I stopped making it, it was really boring. Because I know this game so well, it's hard to really immerse myself in the story. So this is my chance to do that. The challenge run, Uncivilized Run. I'm going to be making social decisions I've never made before in this game. I'm going to be avoiding very specific ways of like solving some problems because I'm just not going to allow myself to use the Force. And I'm going to be running around with characters that I normally kind of sideline in lieu of having more Jedi users, because just running around with a bunch of Jedi just was a lot of fun. So this time we're going to be seeing a little bit more flavor to the game, and I'm really excited to do that. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you'll stick around for this series, and I want to say a special thank you to my patrons. Anybody who's here watching this video is a massive support for this, and I'm really excited that you're joining us. I hope you will continue to return, but especially to the patrons. I don't know, you guys are seeing something special for the channel, and it means the world to me that you're willing to support me directly in that way and just become a lab member, or just really become a part of this community in such a way. And anyone who does become a patron, you get access to a patron cast, which are little podcasts of behind the scenes where I just talk about stuff, do direct Q&A questions, and open up letters and packages that I get in the mail occasionally. So it's a lot of fun. If that seems like something you'd be interested in doing, of course, links in the description below, but mostly just stick around, keep an eye out. Every Tuesday we're going to be doing another episode of this series, and we're going to see how far we can go through this game. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a great time, and until the next video watching me up, see me in next. I'll see you there.